Have you ever wanted to lead with confidence, but feared coming across as too controlling, too pushy, or too much like the boss instead of the leader people want to follow? Because in today's episode, Servant Leadership for New Leaders, 5 Principles for Leading Confidently Without Acting Like a Boss, we're breaking down exactly how servant leaders build influence, trust, and respect. Not by demanding authority, but by earning it through service, presence, and impact. Why servant leadership makes people want to follow you. There's a moment almost every new leader experiences. A moment where the tension becomes painfully clear. I want to lead confidently, but I don't want to be that leader. You know the one. The leader who talks more than they listen. The leader who demands obedience instead of inspiring commitment. The leader who throws around authority because they don't have real influence. The leader who leads through pressure because they don't understand people. The leader who rules the room but loses the respect of the people in it. And if you've ever worried about becoming that kind of leader, congratulations. It means you're paying attention. It means influence matters to you. It means people matter to you. It means culture matters to you. It means you're not just a leader by title, you're a leader by intention. Servant leadership is not about being soft. It is not about being passive. It is not about letting people walk over you. And it is absolutely not about being less confident. Servant leadership is about leading in a way that makes people feel like, you see me, you respect me, you support me, you challenge me, you want me to win. You're willing to go first. New leaders often believe they must choose confidence or humility, authority or connection, standards or empathy. But transformational leaders know real leadership requires both. Servant leadership does not weaken your confidence, it strengthens it. It builds a foundation of trust that gives your voice weight. It creates followership that isn't forced, it's earned. And it creates a leadership presence people want to rise with. Today, we're breaking down 5 core principles that help new leaders lead confidently without ever acting like a boss. Let's dive in. Principle number 5, serve first, then lead. Service builds trust before authority is tested. Most new leaders believe they must prove themselves before people follow them. But servant leaders know people follow you because they trust your intention, not because they see your authority. Serving first does not mean doing everyone's job. It does not mean rescuing people. It does not mean lowering your standards to avoid conflict. Serving first means showing, through action, that you are for the people you lead. Here's what serving first actually looks like in the real world. You ask people what barriers they're facing, and actually listen. You remove obstacles that slow them down. You clarify expectations instead of assuming people understand. You give support without creating dependency. You create conditions where great work is possible. And here's the secret. When people see you serving the mission and serving them, they naturally rise with you. Because people don't follow leaders who help them because they have to. They follow leaders who help them because they care to. Serving creates trust. Trust creates influence. Influence creates commitment. Commitment creates results. And results reinforce your leadership. This is why servant leadership accelerates influence faster than any other style. It wins hearts and earns respect. Leadership mindset reflection. Who in your world right now needs to feel your support through action rather than instruction? What small shift in your daily interactions would make someone feel seen, valued, or supported? Principle number 4. Listen before you direct. Direction without understanding feels like control. Most bosses make a fatal mistake. They give direction before understanding the situation. Servant leaders flip the order. They listen first. They gather context first. They honor the other person's perspective first. Because direction without listening feels like micromanagement. But direction after listening feels like empowerment. You will lead people much more effectively when you ask questions like, what do you think is the best path forward? What's the real challenge underneath this? What am I missing from your point of view? What's already working that we can build on? What do you need from me to execute confidently? Listening does not weaken your authority. Listening strengthens your credibility. When people feel heard, they become more open, more honest, more committed, more cooperative, more trusting. People don't resist direction. They resist direction that ignores their reality. Listening builds understanding. Understanding builds trust. Trust builds followership. Followership turns your guidance into influence. Leadership mindset reflection. Where in your leadership this week can you slow down and listen before giving direction? Who needs understanding more than instruction? Principle number 3. Lead with humility. Humility makes your confidence accessible. Humility is often misunderstood. Some people think humility means being quiet, soft, or uncertain. But true humility is strength under control. It is confidence without arrogance. It is clarity without ego. It is strength without needing to dominate. Humility creates approachability, and approachability creates influence. Here's what humility looks like in real leadership. You're willing to say, "I don't know," without insecurity. You ask for input without feeling threatened. You admit mistakes without losing authority. You give credit without needing the spotlight. You listen without trying to win every moment. Humility is not self-reduction. Humility is self-awareness. And here's the powerful truth. People will give more to a leader who is confident but humble than to a leader who is confident but unreachable. Humility makes your confidence safe for others. It turns your leadership from intimidating into inspiring. You can be a strong leader and a humble leader. You can be confident and grounded. You can lead assertively without acting like a boss. Humility is the bridge between authority and connection. Leadership mindset reflection. What is one area where you can show a bit more humility? Not to diminish yourself, but to elevate trust, connection, and leadership presence. Principle number 2. Set clear expectations. Servant leaders aren't nice, they're consistent. A lot of new leaders misunderstand servant leadership and make a dangerous mistake. They think servant leadership means being nice. But servant leadership has nothing to do with niceness. Servant leaders are not soft. They are not passive. They are not afraid of accountability. They do not avoid hard conversations. In fact, servant leaders hold the highest standards because they care the most. What separates servant leaders from traditional bosses is not the standard. It's the spirit behind the standard. Bosses use standards to control. Servant leaders use standards to develop. Bosses punish. Servant leaders guide. Bosses demand. Servant leaders explain. Bosses intimidate. Servant leaders pull people upward. Clear expectations are an act of service. When people don't know what's expected, they live in anxiety. When expectations change daily, they live in confusion. When leaders are inconsistent, they live in frustration. Servant leaders remove that chaos. They make expectations specific and consistent. They do that by saying things like, "Here's what success looks like. Here's how we measure it. Here's how often I want updates. Here's when I need you to ask for help. Here's the standard, and I'll support you in reaching it." Clarity reduces stress. Clarity increases confidence. Clarity unlocks performance. Clarity is a form of leadership care. Leadership mindset reflection. What expectation have you not communicated clearly enough? Where can you remove confusion so someone else can rise with more confidence? Principle number 1. Model the standard. Your example is more powerful than your authority. If there is one principle that defines servant leadership more than anything else, it's this. You cannot expect from others what you do not demonstrate yourself. People do not rise from what you say. People rise from what you show. Your presence is teaching them. Your attitude is teaching them. Your consistency is teaching them. Your tone is teaching them. Your habits are teaching them. Your resilience is teaching them. People do what leaders model, not what leaders demand. And here's the truth. You can lead confidently without acting like a boss when your example speaks for you. When you model discipline, your team becomes more disciplined. When you model calm, your team becomes more composed. When you model preparation, your team becomes more prepared. When you model learning, your team becomes more growth-minded. When you model humility, your team becomes more honest. When you model accountability, your team becomes more responsible. Your example builds credibility. Your credibility builds influence. Your influence builds followership. Your followership builds results. Servant leadership is not about serving instead of leading. It is about leading through your example. Your standard becomes the team's standard. Your character becomes the team's culture. Your consistency becomes the team's confidence. This is how servant leaders lead with strength, without ever acting like a boss. Leadership mindset reflection. Which behavior, if you elevated it consistently, would immediately elevate the behavior of your team? Leadership mindset challenge. For the next 48 hours, choose one servant leadership principle and practice it deliberately. It could be to serve first, listen before directing, lead with humility, clarify expectations, or model the standard. Then ask yourself, what changed in the energy, trust, or response of the people around me? Small servant leadership behaviors create big leadership shifts. If this episode strengthened your leadership foundation and gave you a clearer path for leading confidently without ever acting like a boss, then please follow and subscribe to Leadership Mindset Daily. Then share it with someone committed to becoming a more grounded, trustworthy, and transformational leader. This is Leadership Mindset Daily. Mindset matters. Leadership matters. You matter. Follow Leadership Mindset Daily on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and X for your daily dose of proven leadership development tips, tricks, and techniques. See you tomorrow.